At the end of last year, in December, right after the whirlwind of the Perimenopause Revolution book launch, which let me tell you was about 6 months in duration, give or take, I headed straight into the holiday season. And mind you, we had been doing the holidays since around Thanksgiving, but this was this was mid-December, where my son was getting out of school for his 2-week vacation, and we had his big holiday party at school, which I volunteered for. I was trying to show up as that mom who shows up, who does the volunteering, who goes to the parties. And later on that day, we are hosting our own holiday party at the house. I've got lots of people coming over. And that morning, I wake up at 6:30 praying that I don't have a migraine. But the second I open my eyes, it's clear that I do. And this is not unusual on its own. Goodness knows, if you've been listening to this show, you have heard me say too many times. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about my migraines. This is the third morning in a row where I wake up and it feels like there is an ice pick going through the left eye because it's always on the left side. But let's be honest, migraines are so much more than just left side, pain. It is nausea. It is a disconnectedness. It is brain fog. It is wondering, how am I going to survive this day? And so I somehow find myself getting up, and I remember my thoughts feel so slow and heavy. And yet, life didn't pause. Kingston still needed to get ready for school, and he needed all these things. The whole week was Spirit Week, right? And I forget he had a presentation, he needed a dress, he had a little tuxedo shirt that he wore. Oh my God, it was so cute, let me tell you. They were insane holiday party plans to finalize because like 20 people were coming over that evening. I mean, name it, projects to wrap up before the end of the year, and just people counting on me to show up. The person that mattered most was my son, and they needed me to show up energized, present, and capable. And let me tell you, I was able to do 2 of those things. I was able to be relatively energized, and I'm always pretty capable, but present, I really struggle with that because from the outside, I was doing all the things and I was making it look pretty good. But on the inside, I felt disconnected. I felt flat. I felt completely depleted, and I was in so much freaking pain. And it wasn't just the pain, it was the exhaustion that lived deeper than my body, the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix because whatever migraines are doing on the back end, they're just wrecking everything. The kind that makes you quietly wonder, where did I go? I remember standing in the kitchen that morning, just, again, trying to pull off the non-negotiables, packing the lunch, doing all those things, doing what I've done thousands of times before, and thinking, I don't feel like myself. Like, I didn't know what to do. And what scared me most wasn't the migraine. It was how easily it was to start doubting myself, to wonder if this was just who I was now, if this was stress or burnout. I'm sure it was both. Or was I just stuck in this crazy chronic migraine spiral that I was never going to get out of? Or something, was it something I was going to be just struggling to push through silently for a long, long time? And if you've ever had a moment like that, and maybe it isn't as severe or dramatic, but where you're functioning but not really living, where your emotions feel unfamiliar, you feel just disconnected, you don't even recognize yourself anymore, your patience are thin, your inner spark feels dim, like maybe you don't even feel like you have a spark anymore. Well, then this episode, this conversation, you and me getting together, this is for you. Because what so many women experience in perimenopause isn't a personal failing or a mental health flaw. It's a profound hormone and neurological shift, one that too often goes unnamed, misunderstood, and unsupported. Today, we're talking about the mental and emotional reality of perimenopause. Why so many women say, I don't feel like myself anymore, right? This is a diagnostic statement. If you go to your doctor, hopefully, they're getting educated and you're like, hey, I don't feel like myself anymore. And you're in your late 30s, your early 40s, or your mid 40s, that's perimenopause almost all the time, right? It's a yes and. It's maybe something else going on as well, but definitely hormones are wildly fluctuating without permission. And why that experience deserves understanding is because This type of shift in your body is calling for a new level of support, not dismissal, not let's just wait it out, not just push through at all costs. Let me tell you, I keep trying to push through at times and it's not working. It doesn't work. So if you've ever found yourself saying, what's wrong with me? Or again, I just don't feel like myself anymore. This is it. This is why you're here, because collectively we are in it together. And maybe you don't even know what has changed, but you just feel off, like a worn down version of yourself, like someone replaced your brain and body overnight with I don't know, with a version you would buy at the Goodwill store. You're like, wait, what version is this? Like, I want the upgraded version. Do I need like a system reset? Like, what's going on? And I know that feeling of just trying to push through. And sometimes it feels like you don't have a choice. I know it definitely didn't feel like that to me. Here I am talking about this topic in the book, getting this book out into the world. And holy moly, like just burning myself out on the back end and continuing to tell myself, like, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's going to be worth it. And just, man, I feel like not even just I felt like worn clothes just thrown towards the hamper, not even into the hamper. That's what I felt like on the back end of this launch, heading into the holiday season, where it's my responsibility to create all of the magic. And man, did I bring it, but at a cost. And so here you are, you're showing up, you're holding it all together, but inside something feels fractured. Your motivation and confidence is gone. Your patience is threadbare. You snap when someone leaves dishes in the sink. You forget simple words. It's the worst feeling in the world. When you can't remember a simple word, you're like, you gotta be kidding me right now. I read books all the damn time. Like, how is it that I can't remember simple words? I don't ever cry, but maybe you're crying at commercials. Maybe you feel rage that scares you, that has you thinking like, this isn't me. I've definitely had those moments. And you dread the day before it even begins. That is me in a nutshell. I can't tell you how many days I dread before they begin because the morning is so hard. Most of us never had the language for this. When we grew up, we didn't hear our moms talk about it. I mean, I didn't hear my mom talk about it until she was in her late 40s. I was already an adult. I was already in practice, taking care of patients. We weren't taught to expect this kind of disorientation. And, I'm wagering a guess that the reason why it's even harder today is that we are more stressed out. And guess what? We're taught to blame ourselves. We think that we're not trying hard enough. We're not grateful enough. We're not disciplined enough. We don't have enough willpower. But the truth is, you are not crazy. You are not broken. You are not weak. And you are definitely not alone. This freaking moment, it's not even a moment. It's a freaking transition. We're talking a decade. It's perimenopause. And it's not just a hormone shift. It is a neuroendocrine reckoning because it feels like that. It feels like your brain is under siege, like someone else hijacked it. At least that's what it feels like for me. And so I just want to make it clear. I know I've shared so many times here on the show that perimenopause is not just a reproductive transition. So why is it when we go to our primary doctor, it is a pap smear and it's a mammogram, right? Maybe a colonoscopy. We could do so much better. Why aren't we looking at your heart? Why aren't we looking at your cardiovascular markers? Why aren't we looking at your metabolism? Why aren't we looking at your brain? Why aren't we having these conversations, right? It is a neurological transition. Your brain is massively trying to remodel as it is losing its most critical neuroendocrine hormones, estradiol, progesterone, a little testosterone, even melatonin is leaving the party. Cortisol, I don't even know what cortisol is doing. Let me tell you, my cortisol at the end of my book launch, I didn't look at it on labs, but I didn't need to. Like, do you ever find you're like, I don't even need to look at the labs? Like, you know what? The labs are going to be they're just going to anger me. I'm actually going to go run a physical this week and look at labs. And I better not be mad. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy thing. So many times I am looking at labs and I'm looking at optimal ranges and women's labs look pretty darn good. Patients of mine all the time, mine look pretty good. And yet I'm having 21 migraines in December. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot going on that even we're not detecting. That's why a good health history, that's why listening to women, that's why listening to you is so important. We know that 8 out of 10 of the most common symptoms women experience during perimenopause are neurological, are cognitive and emotional. That's why so many women say, I don't feel like myself. I can't think straight. I feel like I'm unraveling. I feel flat. I feel disconnected. I just feel like a worn down version of me. Like I felt dull. I didn't feel shiny or sparkly. It didn't matter how many pieces of jewelry I put on, it just didn't work. And here's why. Your brain is deeply dependent on estrogen and progesterone and so many other hormones. It's also deeply dependent on really good optimal energy metabolism, which is being regulated by estrogen. These hormones don't just regulate your cycle, they're regulating your mood, your memory, your sleep, your stress resilience, even your sense of self. As your levels begin to fluctuate, sometime wild, let's be honest, it's not just wildly every once in a while. We're talking, you get into mid to late perimenopause, this is a daily occurrence. And your brain is feeling it first. Your neurotransmitters disrupted, like goodbye serotonin, GABA, and dopamine. Cortisol levels, a roller coaster. Your ability to sleep, focus, cope, feel joy. I remember so desperately at my holiday party that I curated with so many details. I just wanted to feel joy, but I felt flat. I felt so disconnected. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. Now, I recently worked with a wonderful patient. She was a mama of two. Her name was Ashley. She was 44 years old. And I remember sitting across from her with tears in her eyes, and she said, I feel like everything is falling apart. I'm the last one, and I'm the last one to figure it out. Am I going to get through this without losing my job or my marriage? She just felt like everything was on the line. And I always talk about how perimenopause and this transition feels like, not only the biggest transition, but a higher stakes game where there's so much more on the line. And this woman had a phenomenal career. She was strong, she was capable, she was super smart, and she was drowning. And worst of all, she thought it was all her fault. I cannot tell you, 99% of the women that I get the privilege of taking care of always think it's their fault. Always feel. I can't tell you how many times I've had a woman come to me, a patient, and say, I promise you I'm not lazy. They just need me to know that. And I never doubted it. Never, not once. I have almost rarely to never met a lazy woman. Like women are running circles around everybody else. I looked into her eyes and I said, you will get through this, but not by pushing through, by understanding what your body needs now, and by finally giving yourself permission to be supported. Because so many of us are living in survival mode, and goodness knows, I'll be straight up honest with you, that's what happened to me last year, driven by urgency, hyper responsibility, hyper vigilance, cortisol, mission, purpose, whatever it is, until suddenly we crash. And it looks like a lot of things for many of us. And it's important. I think it's important that we recognize it, but that crash isn't failure. It's your body saying, I need a different kind of support now. So here's what's even more important to understand. For many women, perimenopause doesn't just stir up new feelings, it can awaken old trauma. I was just with my dear friend, Dr. Amy, the author of The Biology of Trauma. We were talking about this, how this transition can trigger depression, anxiety, panic attacks, even PTSD symptoms. Why? Because declining progesterone and estrogen disrupts the very brain systems that regulate safety, calm, connection, and peace. So you may find yourself suddenly back in old patterns, vivid flashbacks, body memories, hypervigilant. You may feel like you're living inside your nervous system again, right? That a deregulated nervous system, a nervous system that you may have thought that you've already healed, and now everything is coming back up for review. And here's something that I've never shared publicly, but there were days, even last month, that I felt this way. Not just worn down, but haunted by memories that I thought I had healed. And in those memories, I felt like a stranger to myself, a woman who I didn't recognize. And I'll tell you what, this isn't the first time it's happened. But that's the thing. Perimenopause isn't a breakdown. It's a biological awakening. It's a biological initiation. It's your body asking for a new way forward, not harder, not faster, but wiser. And let me tell you, I have taken the advice. It wasn't easy. I felt like I was kicking and screaming, but I took a major pause the 2 weeks that my son was out of school. And even into this new year, I mean, gentle is the word because I could tell that my nervous system was on the fritz. I felt like my head was on a swivel heading into 2026. And I was like, I can't, there's no way if I keep operating like this. I already felt like I was crashing and burning, but I was like, I don't want to know what it's going to look like on the other side. So if you have felt this way, like if you have felt that you are a bit deregulated, especially stepping into this new year, I feel like 2025 was the year of massive deregulation for so many of us. I want to kind of help you figure out if you already knew that was going on, then yay, we identified. But if you didn't, I want to just ask you, like, have you felt like this lately? Were you feeling like this at the end of 2025? Irritable, short-tempered, maybe emotionally volatile? Struggling to finish your thoughts or remember simple things like where you put something or a word that you should absolutely know? Feeling like you're constantly behind? Ooh, yes, always. Craving sugar or salty snacks midday or late at night in particular? Wired at night, exhausted in the morning, feeling that the small things may push you over the edge. Now, if you've nodded to three or more of these, you're likely, in some cortisol deregulation and your body is stuck in a chronic stress loop. You're likely feeling a lot like I've been feeling as of recent. But the good news is, guess what? We can reset it. Thank God. Woo! Gently, effectively, and especially with some compassion. And I think it's important. This is why we have friends. This is why we have community, because so often if it's just me by myself, I'll just keep pushing at all costs. That's my nervous system in a way, because I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little bit broken. That's my default mode. I'm just like, let's just keep pushing. Let's just find out what happens. Let's just mess around and find out. But when I have friends in my life, in community in my life, where I'm being honest and being real and being vulnerable, like my friends were there at Friendsgiving when I had a migraine and I was completely disconnected. Also, those same people were at my Christmas party. And guess what? Same thing happened. Back-to-back parties, events that I love to throw. I wait all year to do these things, and yet I couldn't enjoy any of it because I was in so much freaking pain. Medications couldn't even touch it. I remember thinking in both events, I'm like, I just have to get through this. I just have to get through this night. And I missed out, I missed out on really enjoying it because I was too busy just trying to get through it. And this is why I am creating the Midlife on Fire Collective for women exactly like me and maybe even like you. And this is where we get to hold each other gently accountable. You get to have beautiful guidance. You get community that gets where you're coming from. I feel like that's the one missing component for so many of us is having that community, but having a safe place where you can anchor into, where you get doctor-led guidance, where you get supported, where you get protocols and recommendations that actually move the needle in a more gentle way. Today I just finished the 7-day Metabolism and Hormone Jumpstart. We had about 2,000 people attend, and I did 5 live calls during it. And we had, about at least 100 people on the call. That's usually kind of what to expect. And I got this opportunity to show up for people. Everyone was looking for late night snack swaps and alcohol swaps. And we talked about hormone replacement therapy, and we talked about nervous system regulation strategies. And I was in the nitty gritty. People had questions. I was getting answers. And if I didn't have answers that day, like a full, everything you need to start moving the needle in this direction, I brought it the next day. And it was so much fun, but also everyone felt so freaking supported. And I got a chance to talk to everybody at the end today, obviously, who showed up and asked, what was surprisingly effortless about this week that you just committed to yourself? And everyone was amazed at how easy it was to go to sleep a bit earlier, how easy it was to move after meals, how easy it was to move throughout the day, how easy it was to make a morning and evening routine that felt good to them. And it was just really awesome. Everyone ended with the 2 to 3 non-negotiable habits they're going to carry into the next month or two. Many people joined the Midlife on Fire Collective because they want more community. They want an extension and they want to create that momentum. And so what I'm so excited about with this collective, and mind you, I have been wanting to create a membership, a midlife perimenopause membership with women that I could support for so long. I think about almost 2 years now. And, for one reason or the other, we just weren't able to do it. I think it was probably the book that kept me so busy, which, I'm so deeply grateful that is out into the world. But this is going to be a monthly live hormone and stress reset call. It's going to be so much more than that, but it's going to be a monthly live call. It's going to be with me. So it's going to be fully doctor led. You're going to be fully supported. I am going to be with you all the way. 17 plus plug and play protocols that work for you in your changing biology, a private collective, a sisterhood where you are believed and supported. And I'm going to show you how to advocate for yourself. I'm going to show you how to, no matter what the obstacles are, how to create a morning and evening routine that works for you, how to move your body, especially when it's 3 feet of snow, like it is right now in half the country. I'm going to walk you through. We're going to figure it out how to make it work for you so that you are future-proofing your health, so that you are feeling resilient, because this is what I know for sure. I know that habits build resilience, and resilience builds dreams. And you deserve your dreams. You deserve to have the energy and the capacity to show up the way that you want. I always talk about not having to negotiate with myself. And let me tell you, in December, it was a lot of negotiating. A lot of negotiating with what I had energy and bandwidth for. A lot of negotiating with what level of migraine I had that day. And man, I walked out of that month saying, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want that kind of community where we're like, enough is enough. I'm ready to step into my ascension. I'm ready to step into it on my terms. I'm not doing the things I don't want to do. I'm doing the things that really help me to feel good in my body. So that's what you're going to get. It's the guidance I wish I had when I hit the kitchen floor and I was struggling to get through my day. And this, I'm not going to lie, this hasn't happened multiple times. The first time this really happened was at 43 when I finally figured out that I was in perimenopause. And so this is what you're going to get. I will tell you, last week and into today, it was the most incredible experience to get to guide so many people through this transformation, because that's exactly what it was. And I think the thing that was the most surprising to everyone was that it's the small things. Like when we really anchor into the things that are going to make the biggest difference, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be, these crazy freaking protocols. It's simple shifts that really open the widest door, that open the biggest opportunity. And so that was what was so fun about this 7-day challenge, was that you walked out of it a different person. Every single person walked out of the 7 days feeling lighter, feeling brighter, feeling more energized, feeling more peaceful. It was incredible. And think if it's just 7 days where you can start to turn the corner, can you imagine what it would be like with community doing this for a year, right? And most of all, what's so beautiful about it is the whole purpose of all of this is that you get to feel like you again. I felt like me. And I was even a single mom all last week. My husband, Alex, was out of town in Florida. I was single momming it up all last week while I was running this. And, we make it work. And what I love about it is that there was no guesswork. There was no more 3 a.m. Googling. We're talking about clarity over confusion. No more doing it all. No more doing it alone. This is your monthly anchor to reset your nervous system, understand your body, reclaim your joy, and get the solutions and results that you deserve. Because let me tell you, you deserve the best of things, not the least of things. And I believe that with every fiber in my being, and I will guarantee that I will give you the best of things. That's what this whole collective is all about. So it's open right now. You can go check it out. It's drmariza.com, Midlife on Fire. That is where you are going to find it. I am so excited. And because this is the first time I'm launching this, it is so freaking inexpensive. I think that's one of the things I'm carrying into this year. And I've been talking a lot about this on podcasts that I'm interviewed on. I was just talking about this with Kelly LeVeque 2 weeks ago when I was interviewed on her show, is I want accessibility. I want you to have things accessible to you. And so the membership, it's monthly or it's annual. The monthly is $29 a month. And I will tell you, other doctor-led memberships are double, if not triple that. I have colleagues of mine that it's double or triple. And I was like, I just want this to be accessible. Also, if you were to join annually, it's just $259 and you get the 3 months free. Plus you get all these incredible bonuses. But again, you can go and take a look at all of it, see what it's all about. Again, drmariza.com/midlife on fire. The link will be in the show notes. And before, I take off, before we go off and do our thing, I want you to try something. I want you to place your hand in your heart. I mean, even if you're driving, you probably can do this. but don't do it if you don't feel safe. And take a breath in and say this quietly to yourself. I am not broken. I am becoming, and I deserve support that actually works. I deserve the best of things. I deserve a gold standard of care because you do. You may feel like you've lost the woman you used to be. You may feel like you are in a massive identity shift. I promise, I get it, I know. But I promise also that she is not gone. She is still there beneath a little bit of burnout, a little bit of cortisol deregulation, a little bit of hormone recalibration, like a pilot light still flickering within the heater, right? And once you tend to that flame, she doesn't just come back. Like, you know this, right? She's rising brighter, stronger, more you than ever before. You've heard me say it. I'm going to say it again, but you're stepping into the most powerful chapter of your life, right? No one can take away your hard-won lessons and your hard-won successes. No one can take any of that away. If we can just build up the foundation of your resilience, you're going to change the world. You're going to do whatever you want. That's what I'm bringing. And guess what? I get to be there with you every step of the way. So come and join the collective. I've already got dozens and dozens of people saying yes, dozens of women who are like, listen, I am choosing me. I am prioritizing me. I am tired of the status quo. I want better. I deserve better. And so if you are resonating with this, if you are connected with this, let me tell you, I cannot wait to be a part of this journey. We can all heal our nervous system and optimize our muscle and metabolic health and our hormones and our sleep and our morning routines and our energy together, because that is literally what I am bringing to the table, and I cannot wait to see you in it. Again, the link is drmariza.com/midlife on fire, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode on the Energize podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you are ready to learn more about perimenopause and how to navigate with a lot of ease and grace, be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can join our community. Don't forget to share this video with someone that you love, that you know is navigating the perimenopause journey as well, because they deserve to feel their best too. See you in the next video.